What's up? What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you. It's your girl D here with a little vitamin D for free. Okay. We are starting our Sexy Back Challenge in less than, I'll say like 7 days. So not this Monday, but the next Monday, April 7th, we'll be starting the Sexy Back Challenge because I know a lot of women want to sculpt their back. They want to slim down a little bit for the summer. And so this is part one of three of our 90-day plan that I'll be doing these challenges. So this time around is going to be back focused because you guys always ask me that. And also did the back because a lot of the fitness influencers are telling fibs. When I say fitness influencers, I'm not talking about professionals necessarily. I'm just talking about the influencers. They're not showing you correct exercises. They're literally turning around, doing exercise, showing their back, and tell you that's a back exercise when really it's a shoulder exercise. Anyways, I want to make sure that you are well knowledgeable and ready for this. So today's video is going to be how to calculate your calories in order to lose a pound per week. Okay? Now, I need y'all to listen to me closely. All right? The proper amount of poundage to you lose in a healthy way so that it's sustainable for the rest of your life. And you might say, I don't care if it's sustainable. And I'm going to say, that's why you're watching this video right now, because you was trying crazy stuff and you lost more than 1 pound a week. And that's why it's back on you. And that's why it's back on you. All right? So the healthy number is a half a pound to a pound a week, saints. Don't piss me off. If you real big and you got a lot of weight to lose, it might look like 2 pounds, okay? But for the average person, it's a half a pound to a pound. If you have questions, please let me know. If you have questions, put it in the comments. This is what I'm here for. When you join my challenges, I educate. I empower you with the tools so that when you lead a challenge, you could be successful and you're not out here just floundering in the gym. You're not just floundering on your journey, okay? You actually learn from me. I'm not just going to put you out there. You learn in my challenges, okay? So the money that you invest, the $49 or the $79, depending on when you sign up, you are investing in a trainer, okay? So let's get into it. First thing you want to do is weigh yourself and put your number on a piece of paper. Okay? I weigh 201 pounds. So if you weigh 300 pounds, I need to put 300 on there. If you weigh 265, I need to put that on there. If you weigh 145, I need to put that on there. Okay? Put that on there, Saints. So the first thing you need to know is your current weight. And don't use your driver license weight. And don't use the weight that you want to be. All right? All right. So I'm going to put mine on here, 201. Then I want you to multiply that number by 13. So my number is 2613. That number gives you the maintenance calories to stay at your current weight. Does everybody got that? You take your current weight. Let me type this in here. Current weight times 13, putting it in the comments, equals your maintenance calories. Maintenance calories are maintenance. Lord bless it. Maintenance is one of them words that they should have taught me how to spell it better. Is your maintenance calories to stay where you are. The realistic part of this that I want to share with y'all is that if you are constantly gaining weight and you're not aware of what you're eating, you're probably eating over your maintenance calories, which is a lot, okay? So, mine is 2613 at 201 pounds. In order for me to lose 1 pound a week, you subtract that number from 500. So my number is 2113 calories. That's the number I need to shoot for in order to lose 1 pound a week. So you might ask, where did the 500 come from? The 500 comes from this. We know that in a pound of fat, there are 3,500 calories. Okay? So if you eat 500 less calories 7 days a week, that equals a pound of fat. So that's where that comes from. Now, if you've been doing big back activities, don't be out here talking about, well, I'm going to do 1,000 so I can do it quicker. It's not working for you, beloved. It's not working for you because that's why you're on here right now. You want to do it fast. It didn't work, okay? You gained it right back. You binge eating. So 2113. That is my personal calorie goal that I need to hit every day. The important thing I want you to get, fantastic, Corinthia got her at 1701. The important thing to understand about this number that you don't want to go under until you start to lose the weight is because if you reduce that number too quickly, you have nowhere to go. Okay? An example of this is people who have gastric bypass surgery and you can't eat a lot of calories anymore. So you go from perhaps eating, let's just say 2,600 calories a day to you only can consume 500. I've seen that. Or 700 calories in a day. Maybe even less when you first get the surgery. So over time, maybe you can increase it, but you don't get back to the 2,600. You might stay in the 1,000, in the 1,500 because of the sheer volume that you can eat, okay? The challenge is I have nowhere to go from there. So let's just say you had that surgery or you're on Ozempic or you're just on a calorie restrictive diet. You've just decided to eat 1,000 calories a day. What happens when your body goes into a plateau? Because it will. The human mind makes you think the more you do, the better result. Not true. The human mind also will make you think if I ate 1,000 calories and I lost 40 pounds, then if I eat 500 calories, then I'll lose another 40 pounds. But that's not how the human body works. The human body, okay, losing weight is an unnatural thing for the human body to do. The human body holds onto body fat as a survival mechanism. Back in the day, we didn't eat six times a day. We didn't have all the processed food. We didn't have food that we could just constantly eat and constantly have snacks. We didn't have that. And so the body fat was there so that when we didn't have the calories or we couldn't eat all the meals or we had to fast 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, we were fine because the body fat is there. All right? So if you drop your calories down too low, the body's going to go into plateau for a survival mechanism. All right? If your body starts to then release weight after that, it's probably muscle and it's probably because you're starving yourself. Okay? So it's important to stay at that calorie range. If you're trying to lose that 1 pound, stay there. And as the week goes on, you lose your pound, then you recalculate that number again. Okay? This is also the reason I tell a lot of my clients that if you're using MyFitnessPal or you're using some type of app to where you are putting your weight in there and your age in there and it's calculating the calories for you, if you never update your weight, then your calories are always going to be over. Okay? So let's just say Corinthia is at 1701 right now and she starts to lose pounds. In 4 weeks, let's just say she loses 4 pounds, but she doesn't update that number, her weight is going to creep back up because that number is for her current weight 4 pounds ago. Okay? So that's where we start. Now, how do you break down your macronutrients? Your macronutrients are your proteins, your fats, and your carbohydrates. I'm going to talk about, in my opinion, one of the most important macronutrients that women over 40, definitely over 30, because after 30 you start to lose a 0.5% or a percentage of muscle mass per year just because of the drop in estrogen, changes in hormones, and things like that. Okay? I already talked about exercise. Let's talk about nutrition. So the most important macronutrient you need to focus on getting every day is your protein. So most of us, it's hard for us to get half of our body weight. That's your baseline. But I want you to shoot for your actual body weight in grams of protein. Okay? And so what does that look like? you find the things that you like to eat the most. Is it fish? Is it protein powders? Is it steak? Is it chicken? Is it shrimp or whatever? I would say pick 3 or 4 of those things that you are fans of, and I want you to calculate at least 35 grams of protein, at least of 30 to 55, 60, however you can get in there. But I need you to calculate like how many shrimp do I need to eat in order to get 35 grams of protein, in order to get 50 grams of protein. How much salmon do I eat in order to get 35, 40 grams of protein? You look at it like that. So, for example, I weigh 201 pounds. My goal would be to hit 201 grams of protein per day. If I ate 5 times a day, so let's just say 3 big meals, 2 snacks, okay? I would have to, let's just say, take 200, okay? 200 divided by 5, okay? So I would have to get 40 grams of protein every time I ate. I don't care if you call it a meal. I don't care if you call it a snack. Whatever you want to call it. I'm going to eat 5 times a day. I'm going to try to get 40 grams of protein. On average, I eat 3 times. So let's just say 200 divided by 3. I need to get 65, 66 grams of protein every time I eat in order to hit that macro. I'm going to tell you this. If you can hit your macros, you're going to stay under your calories regardless. Okay? Now, does everybody got that? You're going to eat 1 gram of protein, 1.1 gram of protein to 1.3 grams of protein per body weight pound. That's your protein macro that you need to focus on. My ladies, 40 and older, I mean, you already know sugar, refined sugars, and carbohydrates are not your friend. You need to be working on that protein. Okay? Now, that's what I want you to focus on. In order to calculate the calories in that amount of protein, so let's just say I weigh 200 pounds and I want to calculate the calories, okay, if you want to take it there. There are 4 calories per gram of protein. Go with me on that. So that means I have to take 200 because 200 is my goal. Multiply that by 4 because that's how many calories are in a gram of protein, and that's 800 calories. So within my 200 grams of protein, it needs to stay in 800 calories. This is the reason why a lot of people suggest lean meats, is because it's very easy to go over if those meats and proteins have a lot of fat in it. Okay, so you can calculate that number. Now, from there, you look at, so for me, it's 800 calories. I'm going to do the numbers for you. I'm going to take my total weight loss calories. That is 2,100. Subtract 800. Now I have 1,300 more calories to use for carbohydrates and healthy fats. So let's just say my healthy fat goal is 50 grams. If I multiply that, in every 1 gram of fat, there are 9 calories. This is why, okay, if you eat something fatty, it's more calories. If you eat something fatty, it's more calories. This is why fried chicken is more calories than air fried chicken. It's because there's more fat that you use to cook it, and there's probably more fat on the actual chicken. Okay? So let's just say I'm shooting for 50 grams of fat per day. I multiply that by 9 because there are 9 calories per gram. So that means 450 of my calories, my olive oil that I eat, avocado that I might eat, coconut oil I might use for something, 450 calories. We are really good for overdoing the fat, y'all. We just be poor. Black people, we just season until the ancestors say stop. But when you're on a weight loss journey, it's important for you to know these things, okay? So if I take my 800 from protein, okay, and then I take my 450 from fat, the rest that is left is 1,250. So that's how many, is 850. That's how many calories of carbohydrates I can have in my meals throughout the entire day. And I know that for my math people and science people, this is interesting. For the average person, you're like, what? Okay? But I just want to break it down for you so you understand that you can't, when it comes to weight loss, You can't really eyeball it, especially if you're not in the flow of being in a routine. Okay? Does that make sense? Yes. The calorie density of oil is insane, right? The other reason why we really shoot for getting our protein in when it comes to weight loss is because a lot of the calorie burnage that happens in our body comes from a few different things. It comes from your basal metabolic rate, which is God's gift to us. It's just how many calories your body uses at rest. If I laid in my bed all day, I have what's called a BMR. My BMR might be 1,800 and something. Okay, if I did nothing, just lay there, my body was going to burn about 1,800 calories. Okay, that's called the BMR. You can look that up. Then you have non-exercise related movement. This is about, I think, 15% of your calorie burn. So your BMR is your majority. Okay, your BMR is your majority. Next is your non-exercise related movement. So that's you standing up, that's you walking around, that you cleaning up, that you playing with the kids, something that's not exercise related. Okay. The next part of your calorie burn, 10% of it is when you're digesting your food. So inside of that 10%, your protein uses the most, it has the most thermic effect is what we call it. It takes a lot of it takes a lot of energy to break down your protein. That's why we want to eat most of that. Okay? Now this is going to blow your mind. Only 5% of that calorie burn comes from exercise. 5%. 5%. 5%. So if you're exercising, a lot of us we get hyper obsessed with the exercise part. And we're like, oh, I'm going to do more cardio. I'm going to do more workouts. It's only 5%. So you need to focus on the things that don't happen in the gym. Your rest, your eating habits, right? Hitting your macros, staying stress-free, okay? Listening to your body. Only 5% is exercise, y'all. 5%. Let me put that in perspective for you. Taking 10,000 steps a day. Let's just say you did 10,000 steps. You could take 10,000 steps in an hour. You're probably going to burn 500 calories in an hour. Okay? If you have a honey bun and a Coke, that's 364 calories. You can eat that before this video goes off. 500 calories is you going to get a Starbucks drink, or going to 7 Brew, or going to Yellowhammer and getting a sweet coffee instead of something that's not so high in calories. So the fact that you can drink 500 calories, but it takes you an hour to burn it is insane. Only 5%, y'all. So you do what you got to do in the gym, get in there, get out, but it's the things that happen in the kitchen, the rest, the stress management is what's key, okay? So that is how you lose 1 pound a week. You take just to recap, you take your current weight, you multiply that by 13. That gives you your maintenance calories. That's how you stay the size you are now. In order to lose 1 pound, you subtract that number by 500. Where do we get 500? There's 3,500 calories in a pound of fat. If I take out 500 calories from your diet 7 days a week, 3,500 calories down, you should be down 1 pound a week. If you are not that disciplined and you want to do half a pound, which is fine, you just take your maintenance calories, subtract that by 250, okay? This is also the part about weight loss. You have to be very attentive. A lot of you don't want to get on the scale. That's fine. But for the people who are like, I'm committed, you probably should weigh yourself every morning with no clothes on after you go to the bathroom. Write down that number. After 14 days, you're able to see when your numbers trend down. And you take that average and you're able to see that you did a pound a week. Also, making sure you look at your clothes and take your body measurements. If your body measurements went down, it tells you that you've gone through body recomposition. This is how you know the diet worked or not. You don't just speculate, y'all. You can't just speculate. You can't be like, I don't feel like I lost any weight. Did you take pictures? Did you weigh yourself? Did you take your measurements? No? Well, you'll never know. A lot of us literally lost weight 10 years ago. We hit our goal 10 years ago, but because we lived in a state of delusion and wanted to stay in this type of egotistical, humble mindset, now we look back at those pictures, we're like, dang, I look good. Yeah, but you didn't pay attention to it. So we want to make sure we pay attention to it. So that's how you lose 1 pound um, in a 1 pound a week. I'm gonna give you this last tip. Don't say I never gave you nothing. And if you want more coaching like this, you need to join my 21-day challenge that starts April 7th. I want you to go to ChatGPT, and I want you to say to ChatGPT, make me a meal plan, a 1-day meal plan, where I eat X times a day. So that's up to you. How many times a day you eat? I might do 3 times a day. I want that you take all these numbers. I want my day to include 200 grams of protein, 50 grams of fat, 212 grams of carbs. These are my preferred foods. And you might say steak, shrimp, and chicken thighs. My favorite vegetables are spinach, Brussels sprouts, tomatoes, and green beans. Then you say, or you might say protein powder. I don't know, whatever it is. And then I want you to say, make me a meal plan according to my food preferences, my macro preferences, and my calorie allowance. My calorie allowance is 2,100 calories. Press enter. It's going to give you a meal plan that will reflect that calorie allowance you have in order to lose a pound. Well, it's going to be recorded, and I'm putting it on YouTube so you can go back. Okay? That's how I want you to make your meal plan. And when you lose that pound, y'all, you go back and recalculate it again. You take the weight that you lost. Let's say you do it in 4 weeks. The weight that you lost, you might be 3 pounds down, 4 pounds down. Multiply it by 13, subtract it by 500, and you got your new one. Re-enter it into ChatGPT. We got it? This is how you're going to do it, and you're going to make it simple. This is the life hack. Stop acting like you have to eat so many different things every day. If you can keep it simple and eat the same breakfast, eat the same lunch, eat the same dinner, eat the same snacks for 4 weeks, for 2 weeks, for 3 weeks, I'm telling you, you're going to lose weight faster. You know your go-to snacks. Michelle knows her go-to breakfast. When you get old, y'all, when you 40 years old, over 35, you don't care about all that variety no more. There's the food that you like, and you freaking eat that food. You find what you like, and when you eat that every day, boom, boom, boom. Every day, boom, boom, boom. I promise you're going to lose that weight. Your stomach going to start coming in. You're going to start being more toned. Your back fat going to go down a little bit more. Your sleep is going to get better. And the mental real estate that you use and the food noise that you hear with food is going to go away because you already have a plan. All right? So that's how you're going to lose a pound a week. For your water, you're going to do at least half of your body weight in ounces of water. Life hack, make sure you drink some electrolytes in the morning. Okay? Not too much sugar in them. Electrolytes in the morning. If you don't have electrolytes, get some Himalayan pink salt. Put that on your food or lick it off your hand or put it in some water or whatever. Because water by itself washes out your electrolytes. So you want to stay hydrated. In order to stay hydrated, you need sodium. Americans' issue is that we eat too much sugar. Sodium will follow sugar. Okay? So that's what I want you to do. Stay hydrated. Half your body weight. You want to shoot for 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Get your rest. Okay? Get your cortisol levels down. All right? Lift your weights and things like that. But we're talking about nutrition, okay? So make sure you save this. Well, you ain't gonna be able to save. You got 30 days to watch this video. I'm going to download it and I'm going to put it on my YouTube channel. If you don't follow me, the Black Philanthropist on there, one word. If you don't follow me, go follow me because this video will be archived there. All right? Thank you for listening. We got our challenge that starts April 7th. You can click the link in the description and you can join that and you'll get more um, education just like this when we meet up. All right? Talk to y'all later. Bye.